today on Judge Alex. This minister accuses him of stealing from her church.
Times like this, I wish I were back in criminal court, because I would launch you so far into orbit you'd never touch the ground again.
Judge, we're dealing with a devil in a red dress here.
Oh,
So you don't? She's not telling you. She's not telling me the truth. That's your claim.
Names.
She is lying.
I am a minister of God. I am not a liar. I am not a liar.
But why is he holding out?
I'm not asking you to turn it over to her. I'm asking you to show it to me, to prove to me that you're not taking a Caribbean cruise on her $2,000.
And later, did she try to buy his love?
I paid for his health insurance. I paid for his cat's neutering and your own engagement ring. Is that right?
Absolutely.
What is it about some women that look at a man and say, he's a disaster now, but he's going to be fine later on?
You always think you can change him.
As a cop, he stood up for the law.
If I was the cop who showed up on the scene, you'd still be in jail.
As a trial lawyer, he fought for the truth.
Tell the truth or take a walk.
And as a criminal court judge, he commanded authority.
I've locked up people for less than what you did.
Now, he has his own courtroom
This is my house.
where the cases are real
I will kick you both out and you don't follow my rules.
and justice rules.
I'm giving you one last warning.
Introducing Judge Alex. Minister Linda Garth says she hired the defendant to videotape her sermons, but he never delivered on the contract and refused to return her money. She's suing him for a $3,000 refund. Alex Levy says he did everything he was contracted to do, and it's the minister who didn't hold up her end of the deal. He's countersuing for $3,600 in unpaid fees.
All rise. Court is now in session. Honorable Judge Alex Ferrer presiding.
Okay, thank you. Please be seated. Minister Garth,
Yes.
my understanding is you're suing Mr. Levy for $3,000 based on the fact that you entered into a contract with him to provide video equipment and video services to your church.
Right.
And you're saying he did neither.
He didn't do anything.
Okay. And Mr. Levy, you claim that's not true, that you've lived up to your end of the bargain, and you're suing Minister Garth for $3,600, the balance owed under your contract.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Suing her, Judge.
Counterclaim. All right. Minister Garth, go ahead and tell me what happened. How'd you guys meet?
Your Honor, I met him through a friend of my son. And Mr. Levy was hired to do promotion for the church.
What does that mean?
That means advertisement. He was supposed to do update a website, update my computer. I was supposed to be on TV stations. I was supposed to be on radio stations.
Promoting the church.
Promoting
And what was
the
this about
church.
equipment?
Well, he needed the $2,000 that we was going to have videos made and sold on speaking the holy language. I gave him a check the first time I met him, which was December the 15th.
Right.
He came to my house, and I gave him $200, and he said that he needed $2,000 to buy the equipment.
You signed this contract that you claim you're supposed to pay them $5,000?
$5,600.
$5,600. And you claim that it's to provide video services, taping your sermons, giving you CDs with the sermons on it, and then getting you airtime on television. Let me ask you this. Did he ever tape any of your sermons?
He came out 2 times, and he came in this service. He was never on time.
This lady is hallucinating, believe me.
I am not
You know what?
hallucinating.
Honestly, I don't know the minister that well. Maybe she's hallucinating, maybe she's not.
Judge, we're dealing with a devil in a red dress here.
Oh,
So you
Lord.
don't, she's not telling you, she's not telling me the truth. That's your
calling you
claim?
names,
She's
please.
lying.
All right.
She's lying.
I
Judge,
object to that.
Let me hear what his
object to that.
version is, okay?
Judge, within a week's time, I had him on television, 30 shows ad, which would have cost him a few $1,000s easy.
All right.
So far.
Did he get you on television?
I had a half a minute on a free program of his friend for Christmas.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
We were in the studio at least an hour and a half. The show ad, we did a half an hour of shooting that day.
Is that
Oh,
true?
Lord, that is not
And that's
true,
not true.
Your Honor.
Judge,
That is not
I wish I would
true.
have brought the copy with
That
me.
is
You didn't bring the
not
copy
true.
with
No, I
you?
did not.
Oh, he didn't bring it
No,
because it's not
no.
the truth.
That's a lie.
That is not a lie. I am
That's
a
a lie.
minister
What
of God. I am not a liar. I am not a liar.
Judge, we are going to get to that.
I am not
Judge,
a liar.
I put in 27 hours of videotaping,
Oh,
starting in her
Lord.
home.
Where is
That's
the
where
tapes?
it really started. I
Where
have
are
the tapes.
they?
I have the tapes.
Why haven't I seen them?
Why haven't you shown her the tapes?
I'll tell you, Judge,
I've never seen
if
the
I was
tape.
to add these tapes, she would be the laughingstock of New Orleans.
Oh, Lord.
Because your tapes are so bad?
Because she's inexperienced. Because she's a very inexperienced preacher who was just ordained recently.
You want to make fun of her and her church, but
not
you
trying to
didn't
make
stop
fun
you
of
from
her.
taking her money,
I'm not
right?
trying to make fun of her.
Then what are you criticizing her
I
as a
lived up to
minister
my end
for?
of the bargain. I put in 27 hours of my
Lord,
time
please.
videotaping.
Holy
I've compiled
Spirit,
at least
help me.
27 hours of videotaping.
Okay.
I currently have that.
You're saying you did all this tremendous amount of work.
Right.
How come when she's asking you, show me the video,
Where
you don't
is
show
it?
it to her?
She never, ever asked me to see the tape.
Never asked to see
the
the
last
tape.
time I talked to this lady was
Oh, he's
about December 15th. She called me and told me she wanted my equipment. I told
Okay.
her that
Let's
equipment.
get to the equipment.
When did it become your
Hold on.
equipment?
Okay.
I bought that equipment.
Did you buy that equipment with the
That's
$2,000
where
she gave you?
No, sir.
Yes,
Not at all.
sir.
What equipment did you buy with the $2,000 she gave you?
She was not supposed to receive any equipment until after the contract was completed. At
Well,
the end of the
you
contract.
didn't answer the
judge's
used,
question.
Used equipment.
Thank you very much, Minister.
Repeat the question again.
Did you use any of the $2,000 that she gave you to buy any equipment at all?
One item,
One item.
a $300 camera. That was going to go to the church.
That was it.
That's it.
Well, let me
And
see
what
your
are you
statement here,
suing
because in
me
your
for
statement
all
you
of
said
this
something
for?
totally different.
A camera, a tripod, and some lighting.
Oh, now
Oh, look
it's
at that.
more.
I'm sorry, it's coming back to me. Judge, I've
Hold
been
on,
up
wait,
all,
no,
I've
hold
been
on
up
a
all
second
night
here.
long, and I'm very
Let's
tired.
just talk a little more, because I think by the time we're done, you're going to have an entire film set. Because these things are growing in leaps and bounds.
Next on Judge Alex, the judge makes his ruling after hearing new allegations against the defendant.
He have been to jail 2 times, going to church and beating people out.
Is that
of-
right?
Beating people out their
That's
money in
absolutely-
God's house.
I've never been to church.
God's
I've never been
house.
to jail for beating people
His
out of
bride.
anything.
Mr. Levy, let me just ask you this, okay? And remember, you are under oath. Have you ever been arrested?
Judge Alex continues in the case of Minister Linda Gard, who's suing Alex Levy for $3,000 in unrendered video services and equipment.
Not true.
Alex Levy has filed a $3,600 countersuit for an unpaid balance on his contract.
I'm looking at the contract here, okay? Who drafted this?
I did.
You did?
Right.
You're not a lawyer.
No, I'm not.
No, I can definitely tell you that.
Thank you.
Okay.
He think he
When
is.
honestly, when I was an attorney, I spent I don't know how many hours trying to deal with contracts that non-lawyers draft, because you're not a lawyer and you draft up something that's completely worthless. And my question to you, Minister, is why didn't you have a lawyer review a contract before you handed him $2,000 and agreed to pay him the balance? Although this says $5,000 is the balance, but he says $5,600. Why didn't you have a lawyer review it?
I was not thinking rationally. I was not filled with the Holy Spirit.
All right, your counterclaim is $3,600, and that is because you feel you should be paid the balance on the contract, okay?
Plus,
where are the receipts for the equipment?
the equipment was not supposed to be given to the church until after the contract was completed.
I'm not asking you to turn it over to her. I'm asking you to show it to me to prove
It was never
to me
bought.
that you're not taking a Caribbean cruise on her $2,000.
No, she called me on December 10th, threatened me.
What did you do with the
I
equipment?
used that money for expenses that she gave me.
So you didn't buy equipment?
No.
He have been to jail 2 times for going to church and beating people
Is
out.
that right?
Beating people out their
That's
money in
absolutely-
God's house.
I've never been to church.
God's
I've
house.
never been to jail for beating people
His
out of
bride.
anything.
Mr. Levy, let me just ask you this, okay? Remember, you are under oath,
Yes.
because I don't want you to necessarily walk into more trouble later on. Have you ever been arrested?
Oh, yes.
For what?
Failure to return a rental car.
How about fraud?
Never for fraud.
This could be your first time. Because I honestly think that you should go and take this to the authorities.
It's at the district attorney's
and
office now.
okay, good. And pursue it. And if
It
they
is
won't
there.
pursue it, because sometimes they're less aggressive, you go to the state instead of the local, okay? Times like this, I wish I were back in criminal court, because I would
Amen.
launch you so far into orbit you'd never touch the ground again. It's clear to me that what you did was perpetrate a fraud on this church and on this lady.
I did not do that.
That is
Amen.
exactly what you did. You can't account for a penny you
Judge,
spent. Your story keeps
Judge,
changing from what
excuse
this.
me.
I'm talking, okay? Your story keeps changing from the statement that you gave us. You gave us this unbelievable contract, which conveniently does not spell out that you have to do anything. They just have to give you $5,000. Now, I agree. You were definitely negligent for not getting a lawyer to review this contract. But that does not excuse you for what I think is clearly criminal behavior. You wanted to take the church's $5,000. You got $2,000 of it. And if you'd had your way, you would have taken the rest of it over time. I find that Minister Garth has proven her case completely. She's entitled to a judgment of $2,000. The other $1,000 for not having the equipment available is not something that you can recover. But I can put you back to where you were before you met this piece of work.
God
so
bless you,
I'd enter a judgment in the amount of $2,000 in favor of the plaintiff and a
thank
judgment
you,
of
Jesus.
$0 on the counterclaim.
Thank you.
All right.
Hallelujah.
Minister Linda Garth has won her case, but the judge has awarded her only $2,000, not the $3,000 she was seeking. The judge has denied the defendant's counterclaim.
I know I'm a man of integrity. I value my ethical and moral standards. She's going to be exposed. Believe me, this trickeration is not going to last forever.
I want to thank God for Judge Alex, who is a man of God. Hallelujah. Oh, I'm so excited. I thank you, Jesus, because I asked God to send the Holy Spirit here and represent me.
When Judge Alex continues, did she make a mistake by paying for her own engagement ring?
Why are you investing in a $10,000 wedding ring?
I didn't realize I was going to be paying for it.
Carolyn Nowak says her ex-boyfriend treated her like a bank, and when the money ran out, so did he. Now she's suing for the $5,000 debt he ran up on her credit card. Chad Waddell says he's not responsible for the credit card charges because he gave the plaintiff cash to pay the bills, but she spent the money on herself instead.
Ms. Nowak, you're suing your former fiance, Mr. Waddell, because you claim he ran up your credit card when the two of you were together and refused to pay it off. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Mr. Waddell, your claim is that you don't owe her any money because anything that you charge, you've more than paid her for, and some of those things were gifts anyway.
Right.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Nowak. Let me hear it.
Well, it all started out. We met back in 2003. He was a bartender. Well, he loses his job. Out of the goodness of my heart, I went ahead and lent him one of my credit cards.
Okay.
And I had mine. And
What
then
did you lend him the credit card for? What was he supposed to do
for
with it?
emergencies.
All right. Well, did you have a discussion about what constitutes an emergency, or did you figure he understands it because he's a big boy?
Yeah, I honestly thought that he just knew.
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
it doesn't take a rocket scientist.
There was no actually specific guidelines of using the credit card. It's not like we met in 2 weeks. She was like, oh, here's my credit card. I lost my job after we were dating for a month.
Yeah, but when she gave you the credit card, did she say, hey, only use it when it's absolutely necessary. Use it in emergencies.
Right? If you need something, use it.
But an emergency to him is, let's go, because I have a Jeep. I want to go buy 4 brand new rims and 5 tires.
What else had he charged?
Let's see, vitamins. $80 was, I think, the max at one time. But, I mean, just periodically, always just, you know.
$80 vitamin purchases, what,
But they're
a month?
emergencies, remember?
I take $80 vitamins a month, yeah.
A month?
No, I don't.
No?
No, sir.
I see these repeated purchases of like
Right.
$80 at a smoothie store. So you're either buying vitamins there or you're buying a boatload of smoothie.
Thank
No,
you.
I'm buying.
Thank you.
I did buy sports supplements. I did buy some vitamins. All these things I gave her cash for. We were both bartenders.
So you're telling me basically I was flush with cash. I had it all the time, so I would pay her back in cash.
Right.
All right, let me look at my list here of things that you told me he bought. I paid for his health insurance. I paid for his cat's neutering. A washer and dryer for his apartment. A new mattress. A lifetime membership to a gym, which, honestly, I don't know why you paid for a lifetime membership, because at that point he doesn't need you anymore. You should have paid month by month. He's got to stick around. So now we have teeth cleaned and x-rays, class online for him to become a personal trainer, and your own engagement ring. Is that right?
Absolutely. But I fooled him, okay? How many fools are there out there? Seriously. I sat there and I fooled him because I would say, what you do make, since you only work 3 days a week, you know, what you do make, you pay for the ring, but I'll help you cover up what else ever. Because, you know, we're engaged now. He wants to marry me. I'm thinking, oh, it'll be fine later on. Boy, was I wrong.
What is it about some women that look at a man and say, he's a disaster now, but he's going to be fine later on?
You always think you can change him.
You ever see that, Victor?
No.
Don't you see that? You can have, and I'm not talking about you in particular, but you can have the biggest loser in front of you, and somewhere out there there's a woman going, I see potential.
Coming up next on Judge Alex, the judge makes his ruling.
As you even say in your own paperwork, you like to spoil your men. I don't know where these women were when I was dating Victor. You know?
I wish I knew.
Judge Alex continues in the case of Carolyn Nowak, who says her ex used her for her money, then dumped her.
Tell me how you got to this engagement ring.
One day we're headed to the mall. We're going to go shopping. So we go into the jewelry store. I say, this is what I like. You know, this is what I would get you. This is probably more what I could afford. Anyway, she goes, well, I'll open an account with the jewelry store.
I'll just pay for my own ring.
I'll just open an account with the jewelry store, and you get the ring, and when you're ready to ask me.
Did you say I'll just pay for my own ring?
Absolutely not.
How much is this ring?
Well,
$10,000.
from the place, yeah, it was $9,977.
Why are you investing in a $10,000 wedding ring? I mean,
I didn't realize I was going to be paying for it.
Okay, but wait, you're paying for everything else. What makes you think this would be different?
Of course she was.
You're paying for his lifetime membership at the gym, the cat neutering, his car tires, his rent, vitamins or smoothies, whatever. What makes you think all of a sudden he's going to buck up and pay for the engagement ring?
Because I was dumb. I was.
It's absolutely ridiculous. So you have run up a tremendous amount of money, some of which was clearly gifts. Because as you even say in your own paperwork, I'm talking. As you even say in your own paperwork, you like to spoil your men. I don't know where these women were when I was dating Victor. You know?
I wish I knew.
When he left, didn't he promise you that he was going to pay things off?
Oh, yeah.
Because your complaint says he put it in writing.
Oh, absolutely. He sat there and he solemnly swore. He sat there and
said.
Is
that your promissory note?
Absolutely.
Bring it up here.
He wrote this down.
That was
and not even...
All right, this is what it says. I solemnly swear, because apparently solemnly is Latin for solemnly, but... Okay. I solemnly swear I will pay Carolyn Nowak's bill, credit card bill, however much it is, by August 31 to a zero balance.
How am I going to pay a zero balance when she keeps charging things on the credit card? I did not have sole possession of that credit card.
First of all, you identify the specific credit card, which she says is in her complaint is the one she loaned to you. But regardless of that, why would you make the promise to do that if you didn't owe her the money? Never mind the fact that you have a complaint now of, well, I can't do that. She keeps charging it up. You haven't paid it off. You haven't paid any of it off, right?
Well,
you broke up. I don't understand why you think this was worth anything. He wasn't paying anything when you were with him. What makes you think after he leaves you, he's going to pay something?
I was an idiot, I'll be honest.
That was not after I left her.
You were riding that train for all it was worth. She paid for everything, things that no girlfriend has any business cat neutering. But on top of all that, you make a promise that you're going to pay off her credit card, and you didn't live up to that promise. That promise to me is clear evidence that you knew you were in the wrong. You knew you'd charge the credit card up, and you owed her the money to pay that credit card off. You didn't do it. You're entitled to the money. The maximum you can recover is not even enough to cover everything that you allowed him to charge, and things that you paid that were clearly not gift-type expenses. But it's what you can get because you're statutorily limited. You're entitled to your judgment of $5,000, and I'm giving it to you. It's $5,000 for the plaintiff. Don't look for somebody like him.
Never.
All rise.
Carolyn Nowak has won her case, so her ex-boyfriend must pay the $5,000 in credit card charges.
I think it went well. I mean, he was saying a few things that were absurd, but, you know, I'm just glad it's over and done with. I just don't ever want to deal with a person like that again. And I know I was stupid, but I learned the lesson.
I despise her. I've never despised anybody so much in my life, actually. But she got what she wanted. She looks better than me, and that's all she needed. I think that was her vindication in the whole thing.